Hello, my lovelies. It's Natassia here. And in today's video, I want to talk about letting go of negative emotions. And I put it in quotations for a reason. Let's talk a little bit about it. All right, before we even get this started, I just want to say that this was not about toxic positivity. I am not going to tell you that you have to be happy all the time and strive for happiness, because it's just not possible. I've said it in other videos and I'll say it again. You cannot be happy all the time. But this video is about letting go of what we think of as negative emotions. And the reason I put those in quotations is because we have a tendency to, we as humans, we love to label things. We love to put things in buckets, like this is good, this is bad, this is positive, this is negative. So we do that with our emotions as well, right? We see anger, sadness, embarrassment as something negative. And then we see emotions like joy, confidence as something positive, like, oh, it's good to feel those things, it's bad to feel these other emotions. But emotions are just emotions. Like, there's a spectrum of them, and if we weren't meant to feel these emotions, then why do we have this large spectrum of emotions that we all feel from? Like, we've all been embarrassed, we've all felt anger, sadness, joy, amusement, and it's normal. Like, we're supposed to feel all of the things. But the problem is that since we're so used to labeling emotions as bad and negative, we start building up guilt and shame when we feel them. And honestly, I've grown so much in my emotional intelligence and management of my emotions ever since I started working with my coach, Angie, because she's helped me understand this, 100%. Like, yeah, it's okay to feel angry. Yeah, it's okay to feel sad, because we're supposed to feel emotions. We're not supposed to just be stuck on happy all the time. So then we start feeling shame and guilt over feeling emotions that we deem as bad or that others have deemed as bad. And then we feel even more guilt around it, and the shame cycle begins. And I know this firsthand from my experience with anxiety. I've dealt with anxiety ever since I was a teenager, even when I didn't really understand that what I was feeling was anxiety. And I always saw it as something bad. Like, why do I have to deal with this? I mean, don't get me wrong, feeling anxious is not fun, but I would be so hard on myself whenever I would start feeling anxious, because it's like that guilt and shame would come in. So I was already stressed out about something else that was giving me anxiety. And then I would get upset at myself for even feeling anxious. And then that would just make me even more anxious. And then I'd have a panic attack. So I would just make things 10 times worse. So the first thing that we need to understand, and this has helped me so much, is to stop feeling shame for some emotions and being fine with others. We all think happiness is great, right? And yeah, feeling happy is great, but we need to stop being so hard on ourselves when we feel what we deem as negative emotions. And that can be anger, embarrassment, sadness, you name it. Once we can stop feeling that guilt over them, then it makes it easier to overcome those emotions as well. And then we don't feel as much shame for them. I mean, think about it. How many times have you felt sad or upset about something, and then you feel shame or angry at yourself for being a crybaby or feeling sad, or maybe somebody else called you out and made you feel guilty about it? Like, oh, just get over it. Why are you still crying about this? Stop being so sensitive. Sounds familiar? I've been there. I've been there a lot. And so then we started associating that guilt with that feeling, like, oh, sadness and crying is bad. I should like stop myself from feeling those emotions, but it's just not possible. You can't shield yourself from all of the emotions we're meant to feel. So now when I feel sad about something, I'm like, okay, I'm feeling sad. I'm not going to get angry at myself about it. I'm going to let myself feel what I need to feel and then understand like why I'm feeling this way. But I'm not going to shame myself for crying, because that doesn't mean that I'm bad or that I'm weak. I'm just feeling a normal human emotion. Another quick little tip that my coach taught me is to stop saying I am when you're feeling an emotion. Like, we have a tendency to say, I am sad or I am angry, almost as if we're defining ourselves by our emotions when feelings are fleeting, they come and they go. So instead of saying, I am sad, you should be saying, I feel sad. Like, we shouldn't be tying our identity to how we feel. Like, that doesn't mean that it's bad to feel these emotions. It's just that they're not us. They're just emotions, and that's it. So stop saying, I am angry, and start saying, I feel angry. I was so guilty of doing this with my anxiety as well. Like, oh, I'm anxious. I'm just an anxious person. I would say that all the time. Like, I am an anxious person. No, I am just a person who feels anxious more than others, and that's fine. But I am not defined by my anxiety or by any emotion. And that goes with any emotion, by the way. Like, I would never say I am a happy person, because that's not true. I feel so many different emotions on a daily basis that there's no way I am just a happy person. Like, I am a person who is appreciative for the things in my life and who has a lot of happy moments, but I am not a happy person. I wouldn't say I am happy, I would say I feel happy. And because, again, that just kind of pushes that idea that we need to be happy all the time, and that's just not possible. So we need to stop defining ourselves by our emotions. And like, words have power. I truly believe that. Like, the things that we say and the things that we speak out into the world, or even the way that we think, affects how we see ourselves. As somebody who used to say, I am an anxious person. So words have power. Switch from I am to I feel. And then what's really helped me shift my mindset is understanding how I can latch on to certain emotions and feelings, and kind of let them ruin my day or my week even. I'm sure you've been there where you're having a really good day, right? You woke up in a great mood, things are going right, and then something happens that irritates you, or somebody says something that makes you upset, and that ends up ruining the rest of your day. Like, you just ruminate and you get upset over it, and then you just hold on to that anger or that sadness for the rest of the day. That is a choice. I know that sucks to hear, but that is a choice that we make. And I can 100% admit that I struggled with that so much, and shifting that mindset has really helped me let go of situations that may bother me and recognize, like, do I really want this to ruin the rest of my day? Do I really want to keep holding on to this anger or embarrassment or sadness? it's a choice. So what really helped me learn how to do this was keeping a mood journal, a daily mood journal. I don't want to get into like all of the details in this video, or else it's going to become really long. But if you're interested in me doing a video about like your daily moods and keeping a mood journal, let me know in the comments below and I'll create a separate video about it. But doing a mood journal kind of made me realize that there were days where I would say my overall mood was anxious or upset or overwhelmed. And then looking back at what was making me feel that way for the entire day, it was literally just one moment. Like, I let my entire day be defined by a moment that like lasted 5 minutes, which is crazy, right? Because we have 24 hours in a day, and I am sure there were a lot of great things that happened that day as well, but I decided to zero in on those 5 minutes that made me upset. And then I'm like, yeah, no, I was upset today. That was my mood because of that one thing that lasted 5 minutes, but I decided to drag it on for the rest of the day in my mind. What helped me reframe that is, one, recognizing that and being self-aware and asking, do I really want to give this one emotion that much power over me? And two, do I really want to give that much power to the situation to let it affect me this strongly? And three, what the mood journal definitely helped me realize is whether there were certain triggers that were making me either upset or anxious or angry or anything else, even on days where you say like, oh, my overall mood was joyful or happy or excited. Well, what was it about those days that made you feel so good? I didn't really start becoming a little bit more emotionally intelligent until I started learning about emotional intelligence and what it means. So I've definitely come a long way, and I've learned to not shame myself for feeling certain emotions. Feel what you need to feel, but the key is to not let those emotions define us or latch onto them for longer than we need to. I hope you found this video helpful. If you're new to this channel and you enjoyed this video, I post videos about self-love and fashion every week, so you can go check those out on my channel as well. And if you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate it if you subscribed. Thank you. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye. Love you.